So this is a bit different. I feel a bit weird having people in my shower room with me, but there you go. I thought I'd do a quick, my kind of skincare routine, what I do in the morning. So I've obviously just uploaded my exercise video, so I'm just coming kind of straight off that. So I thought this might be a good kind of comparison as to what I look like after I've just finished my exercise as to what I look like when I've showered and put my face on. So let's get started. So the first thing I do is, if I can find it, oh God, is I've got to get some new stuff. This is my eye cream. So the first thing is eye cream. Oh, there we go. So, but it is literally on its last legs. Oops. Oh God, I'll do that in a minute. Right, so it's just a bit of eye cream there. And I just put that underneath my eyes and onto my brow bone. Don't bring it down onto my eyelids. A very good friend used to work for the BBC. She's a makeup designer at the BBC, and she used to say, don't put it directly onto your eyelid, just put it on the brow bone and it will kind of soak down. So that was like in my 20s. So that's what I've done ever since. Okay, so that's that. Now at the moment I've got rosemary oil, but so I'm just using some of that. So I put about 5 or 6 drops in the palm of my hand, and I just put rosemary oil around the sides of my skin, of my eye like that, sorry, just around the eye like that, where all the crow lines are. Now don't actually go, because it won't sting as such, but it kind of has that menthol effect, your eyes can start watering. So just don't put it into your eye, just put it round that kind of outer corner, and then down in these labial folds here, across the top where you get those smoker's lines if you've been a smoker, and then down into these sort of marionette lines here. I need a bit more, it's dried up. And then just kind of massage that in. I mean, and you could probably use, pretty much any oil that you wanted. I just have rosemary here at the minute. And I have got actually rose hip, that's another good one. But that's downstairs in my fridge. Another good one is, what's it called? Buck something oil, buckseed oil or buckwheat oil. That's supposed to be another very good one for your skin. It's kind of the new wonder skin treatment thing. So check that out. But yeah, I'm just using rosemary oil, and I use rosemary oil. I add rosemary oil to my shampoo as well, because it's supposed to be very good with helping to prevent and stimulate growth, to sort of help prevent hair loss and stimulate growth of new hair. I'll do something on that another time, but that's basically it. So that's the oil. Then on top of that I put a serum, and I've got 2 here at the moment, both of which are from Aldi, and this one is the collagen one. So I just put a few drops of that in my palm. There's also a hyaluronic acid one to show you. So that's the collagen one, and then the hyaluronic acid is a blue label. So that, and I watched a video, I'll link it in the description. I watched a video from a woman who is comparing, really high-end brands to just, brands that you get in Boots or just in the supermarket, and some of Aldi's products came out really, really well. So I saw that, I thought, oh, I'll give that a whirl. I mean, who knows what good this stuff does. I mean, you see all these actresses without all the, when they haven't got all the filters on. And frankly, most of them look the age they are. They've had donkey's years of access to the most expensive beauty treatments. And as long as they haven't destroyed themselves with all this plastic surgery, I mean, pretty much a lot of them, still look their age. I mean, I know there's more and more kind of high-tech things coming into the market these days with these like red light masks, and I mean, they're probably, you know, okay. They're probably good for you. I mean, and when I say good for you, they're probably okay, and they do well. But yeah, you know, but you have to wonder really how much is all just about packaging and hype, don't you? So anyways, that's the serum then that goes on. And then what normally happens is I just stick on some moisturiser, and the one I've got at the moment is it's a vitamin C moisturiser. They got in a bundle ages ago from TikTok shop. It came with like all different things. Anyway, I've just kind of found this in the bottom of my plastic container, and this is actually as well, this is SPF 50, and it is vitamin C. Now I don't do very well with vitamin C in high concentrations, so this is whatever percentage this is, it's low enough for me to tolerate, but higher concentrations of vitamin C, I've had it twice. I've bought a product which vitamin C, maybe it's like say 0.5%. I came out with a big rash. I had all these like boils, and it happened to me once before. I used to be a member of a gym back in the day called Holmes Place. They got taken over, but I remember having a facial in that place, and went back to work, and by the middle of the afternoon I could feel the itching starting. I had to go back, and they sort of put some kind of calming thing on me. But yeah, I'm not very good with vitamin C, so it might be worth just testing yourself. So put this on now, let the serum soak in a bit, put this on. This one's actually got a bit of colour in it as well, so it's not a foundation. This is not obviously a foundation, it's just a tinted moisturiser. So I'm going to look in this mirror, sorry for a minute, because I can't really see what I'm doing in the reflection of the phone. So it just gives a bit of, this is, you know, gives a bit of colour. It's quite nice. And then I'm just going to use a bit of concealer under my eyes. Oh, what's that? Yeah, it's gone. Right, so just going to dab on some concealer. This is quite light, this one, so I think I'll just top it off with a bit of slightly darker. If I can find it, yeah, I can. Ooh. Right, let's just put this on. Oof. I don't want to look like one of these Japanese kabuki people with really white. Oh, so I put that on. Just kind of fade that in over the cheekbones. Okay, that will do. And then I've got this, what's it called, Fit Me. It's just a Maybelline powder compact thing, sort of pressed powder. I'm just going to pat this over the top to set that. Now I've used powder since I was very young, because when I was about 14 I went to a party, and I went to a grammar school, and there was we had kind of pupils shipped in from towns from outside the town, the main town where I lived, in order to sort of keep up the numbers. There was, you know, only sort of one grammar school in the area, so kids were shipped in on buses every day, bussed in every day. And so we had friends from, you know, various towns around the place who we probably only saw most of the time at during the school week, and we didn't see much of them at weekends, and we had, like, you know, friends who were local that we sort of socialised with at the weekend. So, you know, there were kind of people that, lads and things that they socialised with in their town that we didn't know. And I remember going to this party once, and this boy who was a bit of a heartthrob among kind of that set, but we didn't know from Adam, was invited, and he came along. And I remember him, I was in a group, and he just turned around to me and he said to me, "I could do my hair in your forehead." And I think it's because I had quite oily skin, so I was obviously like had this kind of slick of oil across my forehead, and I was mortified. I was utterly devastated. I remember going home to my mum and telling her, she was like, "Cheeky bugger, blah, blah." Anyway, she worked in a pharmacy, and she was a kind of a pharmacy assistant, and she came home with a kind of anti-shine face powder for me, and it wouldn't have had SPF in, because this was back in the 70s, and we kind of didn't really bother about SPF in those days. I mean, those were the days when you went abroad and you took factor 8 with you for the first like 3 days, and then you went down to factor 6, and then factor 4, and then factor 2, and you thought factor 8 was being, oh my god, I'm not going to get a tan with this, you know, reeking of factor 8 Hawaiian tropic. It's lovely. I love the smell of that stuff. Yeah, so it wouldn't have had SPF, but I then, ever since, I used to cake my face in face powder. So I don't know if that long term has had any preventative effect in protecting my skin. I've got no idea, because as I said, it wasn't SPF. And the other thing that also happened was, I think around my mid-20s, I went on holiday. Of course, by my mid-20s, I was on the pill. I was married and was taking the pill. And we went to Portugal, and it was boiling, really, really hot. And I think that created some kind, because I think the pill can make you more sensitive to kind of photo damage. And over a few months, I kind of developed these brown patches, which I didn't like. And so I used to that. So then I started using foundation, because up until that point, I'd only ever used face powder. At that point, I started using foundation and used to sort of like put it on quite, not thickly, but sort of to hide these brown patches. So it's foundation and then the face powder, because I was never without that. And yeah, so I don't know if a combination of that helped protect my skin all these years. And then obviously for the last 20 years, I've lived in a country where the sun hardly ever shines. That's a slight exaggeration, obviously, but yeah, you know, I think when you're living in a you live in a kind of a damp and very cloudy environment. I mean, I know the sun can come through clouds, because when I was on honeymoon in Portugal, it was quite a cloudy day one day on the beach, and I managed to get sunstroke, the only time I've ever had sunstroke in my life. But it was horrible, and that was a very cloudy day. Yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, so that's the face powder done. Then I've got this thing of bronzing balls. So see, they're just like bronzing balls. So I'm going with these just to give it a bit of colour. Oh God, come out. There we go. I mean, I don't know what, you know, people do all this contour. I just can't. I can't be bothered with all that. I don't do contouring. I can't put eyeshadow on for love nor money. I don't know. It just all seems to look like a mess with me. So I never bother with eyeshadow. I can't put it on. So it's just this. So just a bit of colour. And then what comes next? So I had to go hunting around for that then. So then I've just got this eyeliner that I just kind of come like halfway through. I just put it on the bottom about halfway. And then just take it out a bit. And I just try and make sure that I get the angle right so that they both match. Sometimes I don't, but I just try and match the angle. And then just with a cotton bud, which you can see is like, you know, used, I just kind of smudge it a bit because you don't want that kind of cut off, you know. So just smudge the edge a bit, so don't do that. And then my eyeliner pencil. Now again, when I was a kid, I had this eyebrow, was one of those ones that, you know, had hairs growing out this way, and I didn't like it because this one didn't, and this one, so I thought I'd just look a bit odd, so I plucked all this side out. I wish I'd never had, but I did, and I went a bit far, so now I kind of pencil it in. And if I see these really good tattooists who sort of tattoo it in like real hairs, and I'm really tempted to get that done, but I'm terrified of the pain, so I haven't looked into it yet. But yeah, anything to do with pain really, you know, freaks me out. Maybe if I go, and I said, and have these Botox injections in my neck when I'm in Tbilisi, if I can cope with that, then maybe I'll look into getting this bit of my eyebrow tattooed. But for now, I just pencil it in. And it's a bit hit and miss because frankly at this stage I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to kind of stab a bit here, and I'll check it when I've done it. Put my glasses on. I mean, you know, if people aren't getting up too close, how could they tell really? I mean, it's all just... And my eyebrows now, I'm going kind of the Dennis Healy route. They grow really long and kind of, they're very wiry, and so yeah, I'm always kind of checking and sort of plucking out ones which are getting too above themselves. Yeah, so. Oh, and the other thing that I didn't show you, because I'd done it already, was every morning, well, I mean, frankly, every morning, all day, every day, I'm like this, feeling my chin for whiskers, new whiskers coming through. Because, God, I don't know, because for me anyway, you know, I can pluck them all out and be whisker clear at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then by 1 o'clock, there's a flipping forest growing out of my chin. So I'm always checking for whiskers. And I do a sort of I do a check. I mean, I sort of like guard or like check my chin as if I was some kind of like East German border guard during the Cold War, checking for deserters trying to escape into West Berlin or something. And I was getting paid, I don't know, 10,000 Deutschmarks or whatever the hell that would have been back in the day. For every prisoner I managed to stop, or every escapee I managed to stop, because I hate the idea of going out with some kind of like hair about this long and thinking, why didn't anyone tell me I had this growing out my face? So yeah, because my mum used to do that. You know, she'd just, you know, things would be growing. I eventually, because she would never let me she'd never go near a pair of tweezers. She never plucked her eyebrows or anything because, oh no, it's too painful, it'd be too painful. And she'd had 3 children, but plucking your eyebrows was too painful. And so I ended up buying her one of those sort of, you know, razor things. But I'd sometimes go to see her, and she'd have, and I say, for God's sake, come here, get me that razor. And I shave her chin. But she was getting older. Bless her, my poor mother. Anyway, right, so that's the eyebrows done. I think they're okay. Where's my glasses? Let me just check. Yep, they're fine. Okay, so now mascara. And I only do the top lashes. I don't bother with the bottoms. So, and this mascara is from Aldi, and it's fine for one coat, but if you go over it again, it's clumpy. So I wouldn't have it if I was going to. So this is kind of like what I use in the daytime. And as I said, I haven't really got a nighttime one because I never go out at nighttime. So this is the one, but I wouldn't use it if I was like wanted a nighttime mascara to sort of like double up on the volume, the impact, because they clump. So just one coat is all I do. Okay, that's that done. And what else? Oh yeah, so I have got a lip liner, so I think I'll use this because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But actually I think my lip gloss is down. Oh no, it's not, it's here. I thought my lip gloss was downstairs, but it's not. And sometimes I just put the lip gloss on, and sometimes I put a tiny bit of like colour on, just a bit more. So I've just put a tiny bit of extra colour on today. And then just put a smidge of gloss over the top of that. And that is me done. So I'll just go and dry my hair and then I'll be back. Oh, there you go. Quick spritz, and that is me done for the day. So it doesn't take long. I mean, it took longer today because I was gassing and chatting, but literally takes no time at all. So see you later. Probably, yeah, tomorrow now. Tomorrow's day 6 of my exercise series. So yeah, that'll be the next one. And I uploaded day 5 earlier. So 2 for the price of 1 today. Okay, catch you soon. Bye.